Okay, I want to talk about the lab preparation portion for Chapter 4. In Chapter 4, for the labs, you're going to be using your VMware Player on your desktop, and you're going to be installing Windows 7 Ultimate into your host OS, which is Windows 7 Enterprise. And so I'm turning your attention now to the Moodle for Chapter 4 in the lab preparation portion. And those have been revised. I have revised those. So we're going to follow those directions. And I'm going to show you in this demonstration basically what you're going to be doing on your own and recording that in your notebook for the lab. First thing we need to do is open your VMware Player on your lab computer. So there's an executable out there on the desktop. If you double click on it, you're going to get this screen right here. Welcome to VMware Player. And so the first thing we're going to be doing here is we're going to create a new virtual machine. And so let's go ahead and click that link. And it's going to open up your new virtual machine wizard. By default, it's going to be on the Installer Disk Image File radio button. And so we're going to click the Browse button here, and we're going to go out. You're going to be going out per the directions to the X drive. What I'm going to do is simulate that. So I'm going to go to the C drive, go to the NOS 110 folder, to the ISOs folder, to the Win7 folder, and then here is the ISO file that we're going to be grabbing, which is the Windows 7 file. We're going to click on that and open it. So that's going to load the path. The only difference is with yours is going to be an X drive and in Stu Data. So we're going to click Next here. And we're not going to install the Windows product key here. We're going to just bypass that, and we're going to do the download, the down arrow rather, and select the Windows 7 Ultimate as the version that we're going to install. We're going to leave everything else by default. We're going to click Next. We're going to get a warning. It says do not enter. You did not enter rather a Windows product key. That's okay. It will install without it. So would you like to continue? Yes, we do. And so we'll click Yes. We're going to leave Windows 7 alone. You could rename this Windows 7 Ultimate if you like. We're going to leave the location alone, whatever the default location is. And then we're going to click Next. It's telling us that the maximum disk size is going to be 60 gigabytes. That's fine. Recommended is only is 60 rather for Windows 7. And then the radio button for split virtual disk into multiple files. We're going to leave that as the default and click Next. This screen is a rundown, basically a snapshot of what's going to happen. We're going to leave this checkbox checked for power on the virtual machine after creation, and then we're going to click Finish. And now it's going out and creating the disk for us. This does take a few minutes, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stop the video at this point and come back when it's almost completed. Okay, I've restarted the video. It's almost finished now. It's been about 2 minutes, and it's finishing the process of creating the disk. And when that happens, the virtual machine will restart. So let's go ahead and watch what happens here in the creation process. Alright, and so VMware is going to start up again and start loading the Windows files. And what you're seeing here is identical to what you would see if you were installing this on a platform without a virtual machine. And Windows is starting up. And when it comes up, it's going to just start downloading, installing the files, and expanding those files, etc. And you'll see that in the screen that comes up next. Alright, and now the initial screen is going to come up for setup. And here's the Windows screen coming up now. And setup is starting. This whole process takes probably about 45 minutes, so we're going to be stopping and starting the video several times. Okay, so we're installing Windows now. You've got the Install Windows window opening up. It's copying the Windows files to expand those files and then install the features, install the updates, and complete the installation. So I'm going to let it begin this process. We've got the first part completed. Now I'm going to go ahead and stop the video. This is going to take several minutes to complete, and then I'll start it back up when we get toward the end. Okay, I thought I would start the video up again and show you where we are in the process. It's been about 10 to 12 minutes now since I stopped the video, and we are at the point of installing updates. That's just completed, and now we're getting to the completing installation portion. And Windows is now restarting in order to continue that process. This happens a couple of times during the install. And you don't want to interrupt this process. You want to let it go, let it do its thing. Vmware Player will automatically reboot the Windows VM as it completes the installation. So you just want to let it go. If you've never installed Windows before, if you've always bought a computer, for instance, that had Windows already installed on it, this is a good thing to do because it gives you an opportunity to look at what actually happens during the installation and the configuration that you can set up on it. We're doing defaults here, but you can see some of the settings that you can select during the install process. And it also gives you a chance to play with the operating system, because if you crash Windows after you install it, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to affect your host machine. Alright, so Windows is the setup now is starting the services in Windows 7 Ultimate. And we'll let that process complete. And now it's going to the final stage, which is the completing installation. And as you can see, we're about 3/4 the way through that. Depending on how long this takes, I may stop the video again and then come pick it back up when we finish that process. So we'll take a look here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video because it is taking a little bit extra time. So I'll pause it, come back just as we start to get to the end of this completing installation process. Okay, I've restarted the video. It's been about 10 minutes since I stopped it, and it has completed the installing Windows phase, and now setup is continuing by restarting the computer. So the Vmware Player is restarting, and then it will finish the process. So right now it's been a total time of almost 30 minutes. And we're just about at the point where Windows is going to open up and set up our desktop environment. We did not give a username or password to the VM, so it's going to automatically boot up and log into the default account. As you can see, setup is now preparing the computer for first use. If you were installing this in a real environment instead of a virtual machine environment, you would see the same identical screen. It's going to go out and look at the hardware. One of the things that it needs to make sure it detects properly is the video. So it's looking at video performance. Okay, so now we're getting the welcome screen, and you can see Windows 7 Ultimate at the bottom. So we did select the right version here. As you know, there are several different versions of Windows 7. Ultimate is the version that is beyond Enterprise. And the main difference between Ultimate and Enterprise is that Enterprise requires, I'm going to go ahead and click OK here, that's not important. Enterprise requires a support agreement between the company and Microsoft to support it. Ultimate is for the end user, does not require that support agreement. All of the features that are available in Enterprise are available in Ultimate, including BitLocker, which is a whole disk encryption, and AppLocker, which is an application feature in Windows 7 Enterprise and Ultimate that you can control applications that run on the system itself. Alright, so it's preparing our desktop for us, and we're about 13 minutes 10 seconds into the total recording here. And as I said, we're probably about 35 to 40 minutes now into the total time in installing this virtual machine. And here comes Windows 7 Ultimate now, and it's booting up into the operating system for us. And when it stabilizes, I will get into Control Panel. Right now it's completing that Windows installer portion. We need to let this complete. Don't want to interrupt it, don't want to cancel it. Okay. Vmware Tools is now going to set up, and we want to make sure that this is installed, and we want to make sure that all the add-ons are installed here. We don't want to bypass anything. So we're going to let this run without interrupting it. I may have to stop the video one more time if this process is too lengthy, so that we don't eat up too much time for the video. It's going to copy the files it needs to install for the VMware Tools, and then it will actually do the install process. I think at this point I may go ahead and stop the video, and then when this completes I'll bring it back up again. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. Okay, I've started the video up again. It's been about another 8 minutes, 9 minutes, and VMware Tools is completing. Looks like it has completed. VMware now is opening Windows up to full screen. So when this process completes, we'll complete the final step in the installation for the lab portion. which is to select the public network option here for network type or location. Okay, so it looks like VMware Tools installed successfully, and it's logging off now, so it's going to restart again and come up to this point again, and that's when we'll select the network. We are about 16 minutes 30 seconds into the into the recording portion of this video. Total time elapsed now is over 40 minutes, 45 minutes probably, or longer. Okay, alright, so it's Windows is now coming up again, and it should bring us back to that screen to select the network location, I'm thinking, because we have to select that at some point. Okay, I'm waiting for that screen to come back up for network location, but I don't see it. I'm going to get off the full screen. Let's see if I can go back to normal screen. Okay. No, it's bouncing me back, but at least I got to the start menu now. I didn't see the option to let us choose the network location, so I'm going to go into Control Panel here, see what's going on. It may have taken that option for us automatically. Let's select large icons, and what I'm going to go for is Network and Sharing Center. And it did. You can see we are connected to the internet here, and we do have a public network selected. So I didn't select it, and it just automatically selected it for me. So this completes the demonstration of installing Windows 7 Ultimate as a guest operating system as a virtual machine in Windows 7 Enterprise as the host operating system, running as a virtual machine. So let me go ahead and close this. And one last thing I want to do is I want to get to a command prompt and just take a look at the IP address, make sure we do have an IP address, a good IP address. And according to this, the IPv4 address for us is 192.168.142.143. So we do have a good IP address. All right, this completes the demo that I wanted to show you today, and that's it. Thank you.